A very good evening. Thank you for joining us for the 10 o'clock edition of the UBC News Tonight. My name is Wadulo, Arnold, Mark, and Yusuf Senyomo is on sign language. Without further ado, let's take a look at the top stories. In our top stories tonight, URA arrests one of its staff members for allegedly receiving over 200 million shillings as a bribe. NSSF considers negotiating with businessman Amos Nzei over Temangalo land. Chief of Defense Forces General Muhoozi attends Gabon's 66th Independence Anniversary celebrations. And in sports, Gulu City to host the 18th Inter-Forces Games and Shooting Championships. Once again, thank you for joining us. We'll now give you the news in detail. The National Social Security Fund says that negotiating with businessman Amos Nzei is one of the options they would consider to resolve the Temangalo land saga. The NSSF Managing Director Patrick Ayota informed Parliament that the fund is yet to recover the controversial 55 acres of land from Amos Nzei. Peter Kabasi, the lawyer representing Amos Nzei, showed no objection but questioned why the Parliamentary Committee on COSASE initiated investigations despite a pronouncement by the arbitration court.
The controversial Temangalo land saga is far from its conclusion, as the main parties remain trapped in the hide-and-seek game. For close to 2 decades, businessman Amos Nzei remains settled on part of the land despite receiving full payment from the National Social Security Fund.
Now, that's why we are kind of taking it up now. The last time that we got is sent that a letter of ultimatum with basically intent to go to court and get the orders to evict Mr. Nzei. That is still on the table.
It is alleged that businessman Amos Nzei initially agreed with NSSF to transfer 463.87 out of 570 acres of land. However, NSSF acquired 100% of the land. This called for a dispute which ended through an arbitration award for NSSF to claim for extra 55 acres.
Initially there was 104, then that was reduced to 55. On the land that he had given us to look at the survey that was done, only 10 acres were found to be suitable, which then would have netted 45. But we've not even transferred those 10 acres to the fund as yet.
So the alternative we gave you is still in his name?
Because that was a separate title from what we had.
It is separate from the title
Yes.
you have?
Mm-hmm.
My understanding of it is that NSSF refused to implement the arbitral award in detail.
So the arbitration was to the effect that the best, and these were the arbitrators in the award, the best way out between the parties was to execute the memorandum by way of a swap. That's where NSF would then get the 55 acres, and Nzei would provide, and this is where Nzei was supposed to provide similar acreage.
In 2008, NSSF purchased the land at about 11.2 billion shillings at 24 million shillings per acre. The 99.2 acres connected to Ama Limited Company, which former Prime Minister Amama Mbabazi was the director, has been exonerated as not among the disputed land. The MPs on COSASE explored various options of ending this long-standing dispute, including issuing eviction notice and negotiations, since businessman Amos Nzei is not ready to quit the disputed land.
Because if he does that, where will he live? Huh?
Both parties, including NSSF MD Patrick Ayota, had no objection to the negotiations despite the question of the current value of the land. What has remained unclear to the COSASE committee are the documents, including the various sale agreements and the final arbitration award as ruled by the court.
Because I know these lawyers, those going to represent NSSF to be able to recover this 55, you may find they are taking maybe $1 billion or whatever amount. And yet this 100 acres, you can find you agree maybe 10 million per acre or 15, whichever it is, since it may not be very accessible land, you find you are spending maybe 1.5 billion or 2 billion to acquire the balance, and you close this matter.
At the end of the day, we approach what's going to be the best thing for the fund. Now, if the proposals that are coming from Sensei are reasonable and can be attained, can still put us in that place we want to be, we sure enough will consider it. There's no point in walking away from that deal until we know the details of it. But that's really the first time that something very solid has come as an alternative to maybe that land.
What has remained unclear to the COSASE committee are the documents, including the various sale agreements and the final arbitration award as ruled by the court. Lawyer Peter Kabasi has pledged to inform his boss of the committee demands and report back to Parliament.
That he's prepared to return the money.
And report back to Parliament.
That he's prepared to return the money of the land they don't want, although they have it now. Or he can even sell them, all his land, including his home, at market price, so that he gets out of Temangalo altogether.
One of the documents we need is the arbitral award. Now, we want to be certain that we are moving right by looking at what court has pronounced itself on.
Last week, the COSASE committee visited the locus but failed to access the disputed land due to heavy security, among other challenges. Daniel Mugoya, UBC News.
And of course, that's a story developing. We will be updating you as it unfolds. Ugandans from different walks of life, led by religious leaders from various faiths, gathered at the office of the national chairman to offer thanksgiving prayers for the life, health and recovery of the First Lady Janet Kataha Museveni. The Thanksgiving ceremony was organized for Thanksgiving prayers for the life, health and recovery of the First Lady Janet Kataha Museveni. The Thanksgiving ceremony was organized by the ONC Chief Hajati Hadija Namyalo, who also reflected on the support and kindness she received from the First Lady during a challenging period in her life.
On 24th June 2026, while celebrating her 70th birthday, President Museveni disclosed that the First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, Janet Kataha Museveni, had suffered what he described as a serious attack on her life 3 months earlier. Today, after a prolonged period of treatment for First Lady Janet Kataha Museveni, the office of the NRM National Chairman, led by Hajati Hadija Namyalo, organized a special Thanksgiving prayer to thank God for preserving her life and granting her recovery.
That we are to worship and glorify you, and pray that you hear us, our God, our King, who lives forevermore. Amen and amen.
The Thanksgiving ceremony brought together religious leaders from various faiths, who joined in prayers of gratitude for the life and recovery of First Lady Janet Kataha Museveni, led by Pastor Bujingo.
So we thank God who have heard our prayers to bring Mama Janet back to life. We believe that God sent angels to work with the physicians. Physicians always prepare, but it's only God who heals. So where we are right now, according to the news that we have, we can always say Ebenezer for Mama.
An honest, loving mother. We thank you indeed because you said in the Holy Quran that if you thank me, I will render you more. I will increase you.
Speaking at the event, ONC head Hajati Hadija Namyalo thanked Allah for preserving the life of First Lady Janet Kataha Museveni and granting her strength during her period of illness.
When people fought me, Mama summoned me. She called me and told me I decided to resign. I took my resignation letter. Mama summoned me in Rajtula and she told me, now Namyalo, where are you going? You told us to vacuum Maine. Now you're leaving the Maine. When all people had stood against us, that woman I called by name stood and talked to the president and said,
The Thanksgiving service for the gift of life and recovery of First Lady brought together political leaders, members of parliament, NRM supporters, PLU members, members of the President's Support Network and other well-wishers.
A wife in a man's life, she plays, or we play a big role. So we thank Allah, the Almighty Allah, to see that now our mother is here and we are waiting for her. We are told soon she'll appear.
Mwaiva Njuko and Tony Senabulia for UBC.
Now the fight for corruption is still up. Uganda Revenue Authority has arrested one of its staff members for allegedly receiving $60,000. Of course, this amounts to almost 200 million Uganda shillings. In a bid to fake an audit report. The accused, Sozi Geoffrey, was paraded before the press at the URA headquarters in Kampala, and we have a more detailed report.
Uganda Revenue Authority has arrested its member of staff who serves as manager external operations customs in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, over allegations of corruption. Sozi Geoffrey is accused of illicitly receiving a bribe of $60,000.
So the money is here,
equivalent to about 220 million Uganda shillings.
So they had originally asked for $100,000, but then they bargained down to $60,000.
I was made to make statements, and I stated what I knew as a truth, which was all rejected.
According to URA, from a whistleblower and tracked Sozi to an undisclosed restaurant in Kampala, where he was allegedly caught receiving the money.
In the evening, we're talking like at 9 p.m. approximately. The client was waiting from like 7:30, unknown to the URA staff. They were being trailed. And after money was exchanged, the $60,000, that's when the gentleman was arrested.
However, Sozi has denied having had knowledge about the money.
I just picked, I think subconsciously. Honestly, I just picked it. When I go to restaurants, sometimes you can request for a takeaway, you can request for if you have leftovers, you can request for a takeaway. And I told them that I can assure you this, I thought maybe it is a friendly gift, because these taxpayers gave us a friendly gift.
While the Uganda Revenue Authority has not given details about the company in question that delivered $60,000 to its member of staff, Robert Karumba, the URA spokesperson, has given reasons as to why any company would exchange bribes with its staff, and one of the reasons is to influence audits.
The company is most taxpayers out there, I think because of trying to evade taxes, or fear, I don't know. They normally think that by bypassing procedure, they can get away.
Sozi and his alleged accomplices will be taken to court to face charges. Others are still at large. Meanwhile, Uganda Revenue Authority plans to procure more fleet to strengthen its enforcement efforts against corruption nationwide.
One, to equip our intelligence team with all the necessary support. What do I mean? Gadgets, infiltration. We have actually recently bought boats to help us patrol the lakes. Number three, we're also in the process of purchasing drones to also help us in the fight against corruption.
More than 150 URA officers have reportedly been suspended from service over allegations of corruption.
The Chief of Defense Forces, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, is in the Gabonese capital for the country's 66th independence anniversary celebrations. General Kainerugaba is attending the August 17 celebrations at the invitation of Gabonese President Brice Clotaire Oligui Nguema, who is also serving as the country's Supreme Commander of Defense and Security Forces. The pictures you're seeing are highlights from the visit. And in more news, Tororo could soon emerge as a growing center for science, technology and innovation following plans to establish the proposed Africa Tech University. The private university located along the Tororo-Busia Road in Kayoro sub-county has undergone an assessment by the National Council for Higher Education as it moves closer to securing an operational license.
The institution is being developed by Royal City Ministries with a vision of establishing a center of learning that goes beyond conventional university.
We have chosen a very good venue. Tororo City is a city that is promising in industry. We already have a number of industries here, cement-based and others are on the way, steel milling and what have you, name it. And that's where we want to base our university. We have a vision for extreme efficiency, extreme reflection, extreme digging up of knowledge and research and innovation for the younger generation that is coming to this continent. There are going to be other opportunities that wherever you have a university setting, and that place willy-nilly grows.
The cultural king of Obwenengo, Bugwe, in Busia district, His Highness Robert Obara, has asked the government to lift the ban on gold royalty and consider allocating part of the revenue collected at Busia Customs to support development in the district. The king made this appeal during a special visit to the Obwenengo Bugwe headquarters in Busumba village by NRM National Treasurer Honorable Ambassador Barbara Nekesa Oundo.
The Busia One-Stop Border Post remains one of Uganda's key gateways for cross-border trade, facilitating the movement of people and goods between Uganda and Kenya, while contributing significantly to government revenue. During his address, King Obara said, gold mining and cross-border trade remain important sources of income for Busia, but many residents have not reaped the benefits.
It was special treatment government a certain percentage. When you paralyzed business, paralyzed. Yes, kusaba for expansion. Nayenga ababisha ebya makusi.
The cultural leaders called on government to reconsider the restriction on gold royalty and also appealed for a share of the revenue collected at Busia Customs, urging that the border post generates significant revenue for the country while the surrounding communities still face development issues.
Yes, that's a different case. So, one of Barbara, a baby also in consideration.
It would be of benefit to us through his kingdom to support the development of the kingdom if the government gives at least a small portion of the proceeds.
Up with a write-up that can support the kingdom to get some facilitation. The moment we get some facilitation, we can be able to mobilize our finger up with the write-up.
Responding to their concerns, Ambassador Barbara Nekesa Oundo pledged continued government support to cultural institutions and their development initiatives.
Peace, unity, and development. We use a philosophy. Si chuhanga. NRM yeye chani manyo mulama ko luko hazi lukukenda. Peace, unity and development. Our bulo butabenkevu suwa habasa obulala.
During the visit, the NRM National Treasurer donated cash towards the Kingdom's Education Fund and also provided cattle to support farming and income-generating activities within the Kingdom.
To use their positions to help their people fight poverty. Adaha bandu bali hu national bahose bifo byabe babihoso kuyamba banesi abandu babwe ibatula.
Obwenengo bwa Bugweri was established following the Traditional and Cultural Leaders Act of 2013, which brought together Bugweri clan leaders to document and preserve their history and cultural heritage. I am Joseph Mwengo, ABC News.
And in more UBC news tonight, the Forum for Democratic Change has raised concerns over the growing money lending crisis in Uganda, saying that limited access to affordable credit is pushing many Ugandans into the hands of predatory lenders. The party is now calling for stronger enforcement of existing laws against illegal and unregistered money lenders, as well as digital loan applications accused of using threats, blackmail and harassment to recover debts.
Most of them did not borrow from the banks. They borrowed from money lenders, these mobile money apps, or for our boda, they finance their motorcycle asset financing through these companies like Tugende and others, because the formal financial system was never built to reach them. The registered money lending sector alone turns over more than $1 trillion shillings a year through roughly 1,800 licensed lenders. And this excludes the unlicensed ones who go to the markets every market day, every single day. They give you money, 100,000 in the morning, and in the evening you'll bring back 10,000. That's 10% per day. If you compound that interest, it is ridiculously high. Many borrowers end up losing land, homes, and livestock when they cannot repay the loan. Some borrowers are persuaded to hand over national ID cards and sign what are presented as loan agreements but are actually structured as a sale agreement for their property.
Justice Catherine Bamugemerere has challenged women at the National Water and Sewage Corporation to embrace self-leadership, managing workplace conflicts and influencing without holding formal positions of authority. Bamugemerere made these remarks while addressing women under the Empower Her and Mentorship Program initiative at the National Water and Sewage Corporation, where she was invited to speak on personal growth, conflict management, and leadership.
Justice Catherine Bamugemerere told the women that effective leadership begins with self-awareness, understanding one's values, beliefs, triggers and standards, and developing the discipline to manage reactions, especially in challenging situations.
So to become a leader really is to be a person of influence, influencing your space, influencing your colleagues without necessarily having an office. And the necessity to do that involves, again, your personal leadership, which is your personal beliefs, your personal values, your personal discipline, having your personal standards that you maintain and that you practice every day so that you actually become an effective leader.
On workplace conflict, Bamugemerere urged the women to exercise mindfulness and restraint, advising them to avoid reacting impulsively and instead choose the right time and approach to address disagreements.
And we finished off by reflections, asking what the women understood leadership to be. So leadership, is it just positioning? And in leadership, is it just power? Or is about influence and about negotiating and creating a win-win situation? And finally, The call to action was to stand up, step up, and lead with conviction, so that we can make national water one of the leading places to work and the leading services to these countries.
She also encouraged them to negotiate for solutions that benefit all parties rather than pursuing personal victory at the expense of colleagues.
As part of the activities we do to enhance and build the women in the water and sanitation sector, at NWSC we decided to come up with a mentorship and coaching group where we run cohorts for 6 months. This is one of the sessions we're having. We equip the women with both technical and life skill sessions. Today we have been looking at how we manage conflict, how we manage people, and also how we deal a little bit with how we deal with stress. To do this, we have our own staff who come and talk to the staff.
Dr. Rose Kagwa, a champion of the Empower Her program, challenged the women to stand up, step up, and lead with confidence, conviction, and purpose. For UBC News, I am Sudat Kaye.
And with that, we take a short commercial break. When we return, we'll be back with more.
And that's it for today. Till the next episode.
Like a daily bando, like a daily bando, like a daily bando. Omuliro nguwulira muli mu mutima gukankana like drums. Kalakata, kalakata, enendungu yakusabula. Mikono juu, free your fire, free your fire, free your fire.
We don't need anyone's permission to move forward. What we need is the power to do it our way. Spiro is not your typical EV company. It's the power grid for African ambition. A network that connects Nairobi to Kigali, Lagos to Lome, Dar to Kampala. Not with cables and wires, but with clean, quiet, relentless movement. This is Africa, powered by us.
What if accessing government services became easier, faster, and closer to you? Introducing Service Uganda Centers, a new initiative designed to bring key government services closer to the people under one convenient location. Less movement from office to office, less unnecessary travel, better access to services and information. At the Service Uganda Centers, citizens will be able to access national ID services, passport processing, business registration, land and revenue services, and more, all in one convenient location. Whether you are in the city or up country, Service Uganda Centers are being designed with you in mind. Enjoy faster service, professional guidance, and a seamless customer experience. This is an initiative of the Government of Uganda, digitally powered by the National Information Technology Authority Uganda, NITA, under the Uganda Digital Acceleration Project Government Network. Service Uganda Centers, bringing services closer to the people.
All right, listen up. Colgate is on a mission.
It's kind of a big thing.
Colgate Herbal uses traditional nature's herbs and combines it with Colgate Science for healthy gums and strong teeth.
Colgate Charcoal Gentle Clean cleans and polishes teeth for a whiter smile and a naturally fresh and clean mouth. Choose natural. Choose Colgate Charcoal.
Step into elegance. Step into confidence. Step into La Vie Boutique. Located at Grand Imperial Hotel, Shop 6 and 8, right behind Bank of Uganda, La Vie Boutique brings you high-class corporate and casual wear for men. From sharp designer suits and crisp shirts to stylish casual t-shirts, tracksuits, shoes and accessories, we've got everything to make you stand out. Call us on 0772 419 181 or 0705 555 558. La Vie Boutique, where class meets style.
Welcome back. You're still watching the UBC News Tonight. Government has expanded access to healthcare by establishing and upgrading healthcare trees across communities, bringing maternal health services closer to women in rural areas. And yet, despite this progress, Uganda continues to record maternal deaths that remain unacceptably high. But internationally, the immediate measurable target is clear, bringing the maternal mortality ratio below 70 deaths per 100,000 live births by 2030.
For a mother, childbirth should mark the beginning of a new chapter, not the end of her life. But for some Ugandan families, pregnancy and childbirth still carry a devastating risk. The latest National Population and Housing Census data puts Uganda's maternal mortality ratio at 207 deaths per 100,000 live births, while the 2022 Uganda Demographic and Health Survey had placed it at 189 deaths per 100,000 live births.
We encourage our mothers all over the country to ensure that when they are pregnant, they go for regular antenatal visits. We recommend at least 4 visits, and also recommend that they should deliver in our health facilities under skilled hands, because we have midwives, we have clinical officers and people who are trained to deliver women safely, because we wouldn't want a woman to die because of pregnancy or childbirth related complications, because pregnancy is not a disease, it's not an illness, it's a normal biological process, and therefore birth should be celebrated, not mourned.
However, the country has made significant progress, but more needs to be done to tackle the issue, says the health minister. He argues that the target is not simply to bring down a national figure, but to ensure that every woman, regardless of where she lives or her economic status, can go through pregnancy and childbirth safely.
Therefore, no woman should die while giving birth, while giving life. And the ministry remains committed to ensuring that we reduce the maternal death to 0, or to something very minimal, but still remains a challenge in our country. But it requires concerted efforts of all of us. There is work to be done by the Ministry of Health, but also leaders at various levels.
According to the World Health Organization, Uganda's maternal mortality ratio remains at a level that is significantly above the Sustainable Development Goal target of fewer than 70 deaths per 100,000 live births by 2030. Uganda's decline from 336 to around 200 deaths per 100,000 live births shows that progress is possible.
The Permanent Secretary Office of the President, Haji Yunus Kakande, has urged the residents' district commissioners to ensure maximum monitoring and supervision of government programs. Haji Kakande has also warned RDCs over neglect of duty.
In a bid to achieve the President's mission for Chisanja no sleep, the resident district commissioners in Busoga sub-region have been urged to effectively carry out supervision of government's program in their respective areas of operation.
Is to strengthen your capacity to execute your mandates effectively, particularly in relation to government programs implementation, such as delivery, socio-economic transformation, accountability, coordination, and maintenance of peace and security. As you are aware, the role of our DCs and DSOs are complementary but distinct. The RDCs focuses primarily on government representation, coordination, monitoring, and oversight of service delivery, while the intelligence, assessment, and are a warning.
The Permanent Secretary, Haj Kakande, warned the RDCs and their deputies over neglect of duties which he says continue to affect service delivery for government programs. He also cautioned the RDCs and their deputies on personal conduct.
Absenteeism, neglect of duty, failure to attend to official assignment must not become a culture of your offices. You expect to remain available and actively engaged in government work.
His sentiments on service delivery are echoed by Assistant Commissioner, Finance and Planning, Office of the President, Sadat Kisoi. On the implementation of PDM in Busoga, a stern caution was communicated by the Senior Presidential Advisor on Poverty Alleviation, Busoga Sub-Region, Florence Motiabuli.
You are supposed to go on the ground, you are supposed to write reports, but above all, look at the issue of where people are not given the money they are supposed to give. Each person is supposed to get 1 million, but they end up getting either 700, 800, or even 500. RDCs, I'm appealing to you, please. But they end up getting either 700, 800, or even 500. RDCs, I'm appealing to you, please fight this bad practice.
Residents, district commissioners welcomed the retreat, saying it has been timely and now ready to act according to what they have been advised to do. Winnie Nalusiba reporting for UBC TV.
And in more news, investors in Njeru Municipality, Buikwe District have raised concerns over land grabbing, saying that the disputes are frustrating their efforts to expanding businesses and investments. Mr. Mital Joban Putra, the vice chairman of Night Hill Company, explained to the gathering that their land was grabbed in broad daylight, a situation that has affected the wider expansion.
State Minister in the Office of the Vice President, Diana Mtasingwa, told the Minister for Investment that the company was invited to the meeting when the Minister for Land, by then Sam Mayanja, held a meeting. Mtasingwa advised the Minister for Investment to engage him before any action.
If those people are the owners of the land, they will also get what? Justice. So the minister, what the minister is going to do is to call to go to his office. He's the Attorney General. Calls a meeting, calls the Minister for Lands, calls your side, calls the other side, and the issues what? That's what I think. And you get to know the truth.
Njeru Municipality MP Moses Lukakanga told the minister that the law was going to solve this, as the Municipality MP Moses Lukakanga told the minister that the law was going to solve this, as the law will identify the right person to this matter. However, Buika District LC5 Chairman Mr. George Waswa told the minister that he was new in the office, but there is a resolution they were going to follow for this matter to be solved. The Minister for Investment, Hajat Amina Mkalazi, urged Buikwe District leadership to solve this matter.
He has been here for ages, and I'm really trying to understand why haven't you come in to support these people? And they are complaining for many years because according to what they are saying. So, what are we going to do?
Minister, this is my third month in the office as a chairperson. But as Mr. Mumbiru said, if this surveyor made a recommendation that was done,
and the report is there.
What normally the land board does, we send a report to the EMZO in Mukono.
The concerns prompted the Minister for Investment, Hajat Amina Mkalazi, to task Buikwe District authorities with protecting investors and helping resolve land-related challenges affecting their operations.
Leaders, said, I'm also new, by the way. You cannot say that you have been for 3 months. That is not an excuse. As soon as you enter office, you need to identify what is the problem. What can
MTN voice bundle. Ay. Load. Hey. Hello, Mama. Hey, it is me, your son, Opio. Hey, now, Mama, listen to me. MTN has the offer. Yes, it has the offer. You load from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Now they have free MTN to MTN minutes. And those minutes are there all day. So you load, you'll thank me later.
Load an MTN voice bundle between 7 a.m. and 8 a.m. and get 3 free MTN to MTN minutes valid all day. Dial *100 *21 hash and get your free minutes bully daily. Free your fire with free minutes from MTN. Together, our connection is unstoppable. MTN.
We don't need anyone's permission to move forward. We never have. What we need is the power to do it our way. To move our people, our goods, our ideas across cities that breathe with our energy. Spiro is not your typical EV company. It's the power grid for African ambition. A network that connects Nairobi to Kigali, Lagos to Lome, Dar to Kampala. Not with cables and wires, but with clean, quiet, relentless movement. Every swap keeps the city running. Every ride links one life to another. We're copying no one else's future. It's we who powers the cities we live in. It's we who shapes the world they'll become. This is Africa, powered by us.
Attention! The Office of the Prime Minister warns of possible El Nino rains during the September to December 2026 rainy season. This may bring above normal rainfall, increasing risks of floods, landslides, damage to infrastructure, disease outbreaks, and loss of livelihoods. High-risk areas include flood-prone lowlands, urban centers with poor drainage, river catchments, wetlands, and mountainous regions. The public is advised to keep drainage channels clear. Avoid settling or farming in high-risk areas. Never cross flooded roads, bridges, or rivers. Avoid sheltering under trees during thunderstorms. Ensure children are accompanied to and from school. Store food and seeds on raised platforms. Move livestock to higher ground. Prepare emergency supplies including safe water, food, and medicines. Stay alert to weather forecasts and early warnings, and evacuate early when advised. This message is brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
Welcome back. You're still watching the UBC News Tonight, broadcasting live from Nile Avenue. We now take you into the world of business. The director of the Presidential Skilling Initiative, Faith Mirembe Katana, has called for the establishment of more skilling centers to accommodate the growing number of people seeking benefits from the program. Katana made this call while officiating the commencement of a 6-month training program at the Mulago Presidential Skilling Center. Let's take a look.
More than 5,000 youth have been enrolled in the Presidential Skilling Initiative across 9 centers in Kampala, with the Mulago Center registering the high number of admission. However, the number of beneficiaries could be higher if space allowed, says the director of the Presidential Skilling Initiative.
This time around, they really came many in big numbers. And sadly, we had to refer them, others could not register. Why? Because the spaces in the centers. You find that, yes, Mulago, we have like 1,500, but Mulago is big, and we have 11 skills. But elsewhere, we can manage only 500, only 600, or only 300. So that is the reason why most of the students, those who came to register Bambe, were bounced back. 600 or only 300. So that is the reason why most of the students, those who came to register Bambe, were bounced back. So our prayer is that it is very sad when we see they come with all the willingness to come and join. These are very young people and they go back.
The situation is worsened by the high number of dropouts who discontinue their training midway, denying others an opportunity to benefit from the available spaces.
Some of the students, they came when they like to study, others they are housekeepers, and at the end of the day, so they get some some problems with their bosses, so you found that there's someone who is here for 3 months and then he left.
Meanwhile, the youthful beneficiaries have applauded government for providing them with an opportunity to acquire skills and pursue their dreams.
First of all, let me thank our President, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, for this opportunity. Because me, when I was young, I was yearning at least to be a tailor, but I didn't get that chance. But at least now, the chance is there. I'm ready to learn. And in future, I believe that I'm going to be the best tailor in Uganda.
However,
I'm ready to learn. And in future, I believe that I'm going to be the best tailor in Uganda.
However, some say balancing the training with their livelihoods remains a challenge, as they are required to concentrate on the 6 months program while meeting their daily needs.
So the disadvantages I'm talking about, if you want to come to be part of this, skilling is good, but now you have to leave whatever you're doing.
The Uganda National Muslim Youth Council Assembly has launched preparations for the National Muslim Youth Convention 2026, aimed at empowering young people with skills, knowledge, and opportunities to become socially and economically productive. The two-day convention will take place from 28th to the 29th of October 2026 at Kololo Grounds. We have a report.
The Ugandan National Muslim Youth Council Assembly has officially launched the National Muslim Youth Convention 2026, which is scheduled for the 28th and 29th of October this year. The convention will bring together young people, religious leaders, government officials, and other stakeholders to discuss practical ways of supporting the development and empowerment of Uganda's youth.
The convention is going to look at critical interventions that can be put in place
supporting the development and empowerment of Uganda's youth.
The convention is going to look at critical interventions that can be put in place to mitigate issues affecting these youths.
The convention will therefore focus on building a generation of young people who are responsible, skilled, innovative, economically proactive, and committed to peaceful coexistence.
To welcome each one of you to the National Muslim Youth Convention 2026.
Haji Abasi Sechanzi, the UMSC Secretary General, and Habib Mustafa, Chairperson of Ugandan National Muslim Youth Council, highlighted key challenges facing the youth in Uganda.
Poverty, drug and substance abuse, early pregnancies, family-related challenges, radicalization, limited opportunities.
A community that does not nurture its youth has no future. The Uganda Muslim Supreme Council is proud that the National Muslim Youth Council is having this convention that will bring together over 20,000 youths from this country and outside the country.
The convention will provide a platform for young people to gain knowledge, share experiences, and explore solutions that can help them become more productive members of society.
Young people need guidance, skills, mentorship, opportunities, and platform where they can discover their potential and contribute to society.
Sheikh Kasim Kamugisha, patron Ugandan National Muslim Youth Council Assembly, re-echoed these views.
The Muslim younger people have been labeled as radicals, but for us we are saying it's time to begin a discussion.
The convention will feature a Muslim Youth Expo and Halal Business Forum, where young entrepreneurs will showcase their businesses.
We will showcase their work in agriculture, technology, education, entrepreneurship, skilling, and innovation.
The convention will run under the theme
is a guided youth leadership, a foundation for mindset change, skills development for a radicalized, socially and economically empowered generation.
The Local Government Finance Commission has opened negotiations with line ministries on programs to be funded under the 2027-28 financial year. Officiating the opening, the Deputy Head of Public Service, Jen Charisima Mwesigwa, said that the negotiations should focus on priority areas that directly respond to community needs and deliver measurable results at local government level.
The negotiations determine priority programs and financing requirements for the 2027-2028 financial year are ongoing. Deputy Head of Public Service in charge of performance, Jenny Chalisima Mwesigwa, says they should be guided by consultations at grassroots levels to ensure that government programs address the needs of communities.
We must ensure that the voice of the citizens informs our priorities, evidence informs our decisions, resources follow priorities, implementation follows commitments, and performance is measured by results. Once again, I want to call upon the permanent secretaries through their representatives who are here, the program heads, the Uganda Local Governments Negotiations and Advocacy Team, local governments and technical teams to approach these negotiations with openness, with evidence, discipline, fiscal responsibility, and a shared commitment to results.
The call comes amid concern over the implementation of the previous agreements, where out of 642 undertakings recorded for the financial year 26-27, only 328 were reported fully implemented.
Let us be able to demonstrate that more resources were effectively aligned, more financing constraints were addressed, more bottlenecks were resolved, more agreements were implemented, and ultimately, better services were delivered to citizens.
The Commission Secretary, Adam Babari, says the negotiations must prioritize strategic constraints that have the greatest impact on local government financing and service delivery.
So we are now looking more on the constraints and then getting what works. We are also looking at this negotiation is now the second part, more to do with the results. And so the next financial year's negotiations, which we are holding now, and the second we are holding on program-based approach.
Through these negotiations, the Minister of Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities confirmed that they received an increment in budget allocation, which is being used to boost domestic tourism.
School and community tourism campaigns, local media promotions, familiarization visits, and promotion of affordable domestic tourism packages.
A lot has already been provided by the ministry, and working together with the tourism board, especially on branding and digital content, will provide more. We commit to providing more of these guidelines.
The Commission says agreements reached during the negotiations will also be subjected to closer monitoring and verification. Robert Katamba, the negotiations will also be subjected to closer monitoring and verification. Robert Katamba, UBC News.
All right, listen up. Colgate is on a mission.
It's kind of a big thing.
Colgate Herbal uses traditional nature's herbs and combines it with Colgate Science for healthy gums and strong teeth.
Colgate Charcoal Gentle Clean cleans and polishes teeth for a whiter smile and a naturally fresh and clean mouth. Choose natural. Choose Colgate Charcoal.
The Uganda People's Defense Forces invites you to the second edition of the UPDF-CDF Inter-Forces Drill Competition. Join us on Tuesday, 25th August 2026 at the Kololo Ceremonial Grounds for an electrifying showcase of precision drill, synchronized formations, discipline, and military excellence. Under the theme Precision, Discipline, and Cohesion, Pillars of National Resilience and Transformation. Witness UPDF formations battle for the coveted Inter-Forces Drill Championship. Who will take the crown? Will it be the Land Forces, Air Force, Special Forces Command, Field Artillery, Motorized Infantry, Marines Brigade, Directorate of Women Affairs, Military Police, or one of the 1st to 5th Divisions? The event will be presided over by the Chief of Defense Forces, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba. For more information, call 0392 947 455.
Welcome back. It's now time for sports news. Gulu City is set to come alive as the Uganda People's Defence Forces 4th Division hosts the 18th Inter-Forces Games and Shooting Championship under the theme Building Synergy Through Sports. Let's take a look.
The Uganda People's Defence Forces will host the 18th edition of the Inter-Forces Games and Shooting Range in Gulu City.
The UPDF will host the Games and Shooting Championship this year, but also actively participate in all the games and shooting championships alongside Uganda Police Force, Uganda Prison Services, Uganda Prison Service, and the Uganda Wildlife Authority.
There is more that we do that we do together as the forces. For example, the security of the parks. We work together with the UPDF, work with the police, work with the prisons. So there is more than we do beyond sporting. Sporting only comes into cement.
The exercise seeks to enhance fitness, discipline, and improve operational readiness among the forces. The organizers of the event believe the games will also strengthen inter-agency cooperation and comradeship among the security bodies and promote civil-military relations.
Operational readiness, that's among
and promote civil-military relations.
Operational readiness, that's among the security forces of the Republic of Uganda. Strengthening inter-agency cooperation among the security forces, but also importantly is promoting civil-military cooperation, but also enhancing or promoting health while reducing stress among the security forces.
The two-week event will bring together teams from the UPDF, Uganda Police Force, Uganda Prison Service, and Uganda Wildlife Authority to compete in various disciplines.
Include netball for women. There will be football for men, volleyball for men, and handball for men. Whereas we shall also have athletics, which will be for both men and women, taekwondo, similarly for men and women, darts, men and women, and the range shooting for men and women. Opening ceremony will be on the 24th of August, 2026 at St. Joseph's College, Laibi, this in Gulu. 24th of August, 2026 at St. Joseph's College, Laibi, this in Gulu City.
The opening ceremony is on Monday 24th August at St. Joseph's College, Laibi, Gulu. Irene Faith Nantongo, Haruna Mtesa Sira, UBC News.
And in more sports news, Sports Club Villa is stepping up efforts to unite its fans and players as the club prepares for the new season. Over the weekend, the club organized Fans and Players Day, bringing together supporters, players and other stakeholders.
The gathering provided an opportunity for fans and players to interact, reflect on Club Villa's rich history and discuss ways of rebuilding a strong and competitive team.
We also organize this for people getting funds as playing football, basketball, netball, and many more, drafty, chess, and other games. So that's why we organize this occasion.
Once a dominant force in Ugandan football during the 1990s, Villa is now seeking to revive its faded glory through greater unity, collective responsibility, and stronger fan involvement.
I'd like to appreciate some of you for the outstanding roles they've been playing here and there for Sports Club Villa.
The Fans Day is expected to strengthen the bond between the club and its supporters while creating renewed optimism ahead of the new campaign. Stakeholders believe reconnecting the Villa family will be key to restoring the club's competitive edge.
The National Auto Garage Owners Association, NAGOA, is using football to promote professionalism, teamwork and ethical conduct among garage owners and mechanics. Over the weekend, 20 teams from different garages took part in the NAGOA football tournament. And let's have a look.
NAGOA President Paul Duke says the discipline displayed on the football pitch, including teamwork, timekeeping and fair play, should be carried into garages to improve service delivery.
Garage owners of like mind, people who feel that the garage industry should be professional, the garage industry should have people who are all successful, because some of us are weaker than others. But if we are together, we can help each other in matters like training our mechanics, and we now have the NAGOA Training Academy. Matters like cooperation, we have platforms where we help each other, we buy from each other, but we also encourage each other to uplift standards in our garages.
He adds that the association is also strengthening skills through the NAGOA Training Academy, while encouraging garage owners to improve working conditions, customer care and professional standards.
You know, football teaches our mechanics to be professional, to have teamwork, to keep time, to play fairly. And these are qualities that we want them to take back in the garage. As they work on the customers, they should be fair. They should not cheat. They should keep time. They should be professional. They should train. So the qualities that you see on the football pitch are the qualities we want to take to the garage. But above all, we want to be friends with each other. We want to learn each other and gel. So
Paul Duke says better trained and ethical mechanics can help reduce road accidents by ensuring vehicles are properly serviced and repaired. The National Auto Garage Owners Association is also sensitizing mechanics on proper disposal of used engine oil to protect the environment.
Sharing ideas, spare, so that we improve on the quality of the work that is done in Uganda. Message nina wazaji wange tournament kabadde kalungi abavuddeko hard luck next time abawangudde congratulations next time better.
Next time better. 1 minute past the hour of 11 p.m. That brings us to the end of our UBC News Tonight. Thank you for being a lovely audience. My name is Wadulo Arnold Mark, and Yusuf Senyomo is on sign language. From the teams behind the scenes and our management, allow us wish you a lovely night.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Pearl of Africa, welcome everyone.